Hi everybody, today we're going to do a quick tutorial on Chrome developer tools. Chrome and Firefox have some awesome tools for developers to really fine-tune their styles, debug their code, and extend their application by working with the page in context. So we want to open up developer context tools, or sorry, developer tools. There's a number of ways to do this. You can either go up here and click more tools, developer tools, or you can hit Control-Shift-I on Windows or F12. You can also right-click on an element and go Inspect, and that'll dive straight into the element selector. So a good place to start here is with these tabs here. You have the Elements tab, the Console tab, the Sources tab, the Network tab, Performance, Memory, Application, Security, and Audits. So lots of options. We're just going to do the basics in this tutorial. Let's start with the Elements tab. This gives us the entire DOM in a nice way that we can collapse and expand elements. We can see all the styles here on the right. We can edit, remove, delete. Those are the same, remove and delete, but we have lots of options. In this example, we're on the jQuery homepage. jQuery is an awesome library that allows us to do a lot of awesome JavaScript, DOM manipulation, and other things. Let's start here by changing the background of this page. So this little element here says, when you mouse over it, it says select an element in the page to inspect it. It's the same as when you right click on something and do inspect. So we have this container element. You can see div id equals container. So we'll click on this and we're going to play around with this background color. So this is really good for fine-tuning and doing color selection. You know, it's a little bit boring. Let's do a gradient, right? Background. And you notice when I click at the end of the line over here, it gives it a new rule pops up, and you can type in the additional CSS rule. So we'll do background image, linear gradient, from white to black. We're going to fine tune that a bit, and I also want to do to right. So you see that gradient, right? Let's do like a nice charcoal to black gradient. Hey, not too bad, right? And you can always exit out, get the full effect, come back in. So that's the basics of the Elements tab. Oh, another cool thing that a lot of people don't know about is how to, let me find something that has a hover effect. Nothing has a hover effect right now. Let's make this box here get a little bit lighter when we hover over it. And what's hard about styling these custom, they're called pseudo classes, is it's hard to simulate a hover effect while you're down here doing the various styles. So this is a great tool right here. Toggle element state. This it's :hover. So you click on that, and you can simulate it being hovered. And you can. This is the status. This is the style right here. It's currently just adding a box shadow. This little. Let's make it a dark, like black box shadow. I think that looks better. And let's find what color this is. And when we hover over it, let's go a little bit lighter. Right, so now we can uncheck this and we can try it out. Very cool. So remember, whenever we're editing a website, we're not actually changing the website, in the sense that another visitor on a different computer going to this website is still going to see what's on that server. So I'm not really changing jQuery's homepage. I'm in no way affiliated with jQuery, and I wouldn't want people to be able to change websites using the developer tools, obviously. So whenever you add a new rule, like this hover rule, you're going to want to copy and paste that into your source code. so that the users will see those changes take effect. Alright, that's all I wanted to go over on the element section. Let's go to, well, another cool thing you can do is mobile friendly testing. If you click this little button right here, it says toggle device toolbar. Click that and you can pick all these options. Like you can simulate an iPhone 5, an iPhone 6, 6 Plus, iPad, iPad Pro. I think that's the really big one. Pretty much just the computer screen. So that's great. Let's look at the console now. Console is where we can try out JavaScript in the context of the page. So let's say we're trying some new functionality where we want this whole section here to fade in. This whole, what's it called? Content wrapper and main. So this is the jQuery code to select the two elements that I'm talking about. This and this. So I can try fading them out. And fading them in. And you can just run whatever kind of code you want down here. For var I is equal to 0, I is less than 10, I plus plus, console.log the I value. And you see we get 0 through 9. If you want to do a multiple line code snippet, hold down shift and hit enter. And that'll create the new line character. And then when you're ready to run it, hit enter. So that's the basics there. Let's say we want to do some debugging here. Trying to see if they have any code that we can debug. It looks like it's all minified, which is good because it helps us run everything faster. We'll cover this in a later section, a later video, but essentially you can just put a breakpoint anywhere in your script, and when that code gets hit, it'll pause right there. So you can run, and then you can go back to the console and you can run JavaScript using variables that are in context, in scope, to where your breakpoint was set. Network is really cool. It shows you how all the images and data and CSS and scripts get loaded onto the page asynchronously. Browsers are very powerful these days, and it loads all the components bit by bit, and it ajaxes the server when needed for additional data, and you can really fine-tune and get a good sense of what calls are being made to the server, which calls are taking too long. This is a really cool view here, the waterfall view, where you can see exactly how long it takes each bit of the page to load and what that time was spent doing. Let's see what else here. Performance and memory. You can see what parts of your application are taking the most time and the most resources. All right, let's end it here and tune in for future episodes.